This review contains spoilers for Mercy.
What's up? My name is Bobby,
I'm James.
and we got advanced movie screening to the movie Mercy starring Chris Pratt. Let's talk about it.
What is your rating for the film out of 10?
I'm going to give the movie a 6 out of 10. I think that it's a very thrilling movie. It does a very good job at capturing the audience's attention. It does a very good job with its presentation. It's a very unique presentation for a film that's been done a few times in the past, but I think that Mercy does it particularly well. However, I find that the ending of the film makes the general message of the film feel a little bit weird. It almost feels like it's afraid to take a definitive stance on AI. And given that that's, one of the biggest elements of this film, the ending is enough of a detractor for me to give it a 6 out of 10.
I give the movie a 7. I mean, I know the ending did kind of tank the rating. I think if the ending didn't kind of peter out, I think the movie would have been a solid 8.5. But the entire grand scope journey of the movie, it's I think it's a really gripping story, and it has a lot of twists and turns that you can definitely appreciate. It's just the ending. I feel like it had a lot more to say, and it could have really benefited from 5 or 6 minutes of just epilogue, But the journey that you go through, I feel like it's pretty compelling. Compelling, yeah.
Compelling is a fine word.
Compelling is a good word.
That's a good word.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the composition and formatting of the film?
So I think the movie was formatted really, really well. I mean, even though it's just Chris Pratt sitting in a chair for most of it, I feel like they did a lot of creative things, with the way they showed the screens, or the way they showed the cameras, or the way they showed the text messages, context, wherever they were showing in their little holographic. And then even though it was all in one room, they still did creative things with that room, no matter how plain it was. And it doesn't just feel like a movie of us just looking at 2 different camera angles for over 90 minutes. They did a lot of interesting things with their ideas and the way the movie is lit, the way the movie is shot, especially at the end where Chris actually gets out of the chair for 5 minutes.
I think there's almost a sort of helpless feeling that we, the audience, get just seeing Chris, literally strapped and stuck to this chair. There's a lot of shots where it's just very close to his face, and you could just feel the helplessness that he feels in the situation. I think that's really emotionally gripping, and I really like the way that this film is shot. There's a lot of scenes where it's just Chris desperately trying to get to something, especially when he's typing.
Yeah.
Having to type with one hand, and he's just the desperation.
And then the time limit as well.
Time
and
terrifying.
during the later section of the movie where they're yo, Chris, you only have 20 minutes, or the AI is yo, it'll take me a bit of time to get to this, and it really makes you feel we need to hurry up. It gives you a sense of urgency, especially. Or we'll leave this for the plot section, but it gives you a sense of urgency. The movie's really good at selling that urgency of the situation.
What were your personal highlights regarding the plot and characters?
I think that one of the best parts of this film in general is Chris's character. Everything that we learn, we don't know as much about his character at the beginning of the film. All we know is that he's found himself in this entire contraption, the Mercy system.
And that he's angry.
That he's very angry. He's very angry. He wakes up, and obviously we're immediately okay, Chris probably didn't do it. But the film puts a little bit of seed of doubt once it starts to show you everything that happened on that day that he can't remember, the things that he's not telling us, that he's not telling the judge. I think that the film hides a lot of what Chris is until later on, and I really like that because it sets the audience up to expect Chris to be this benevolent figure, and then we start to see more and more that he's, a lot more morally gray, and I find that works very well for this story.
And like he said, the movie starts off. We're gonna spoil the movie here, so if you
spoilers,
if you plan on seeing
full
Mercy,
spoilers.
We're gonna spoil it. But go see the movie. Come back to us. But they start off the movie and they have this whole montage about how the movie set in 2029.
Yeah, 2029.
And the world's been not the world, but at least the city has
LA.
been overrun with crime, and there's been riots every day. It's like a real hellscape. And they introduced Mercy to kind of, really scare people back into their back into their holes. And they're like, if you get sent to Mercy, you for sure did it. So Chris, he helped make Mercy, and that's why it's so confusing why he's here, because he's like super big detective cop guy. Why would he be in his own system? Why would he commit the crime of murdering his wife supposedly, right? The AI is like, so you're here, I'm going to kill you because you don't get sent to me for no reason. So you must have killed your wife. And they're laying out all this evidence. Chris, he's a drunk. He's known to get extremely angry. I got it in my notes here. It says he got angry 57 times in the last 6 months. So Mercy has every camera, every voice line, she can remake crime scenes from just seeing like shattered glass on the floor. They actually do that in the movie, which is like crazy. But it feels hopeless when the movie starts, and you're like, how is he gonna get out of this? Because it seems like they have everything.
It really does seem like they have everything. That's a huge thing. Is the film does a good job at like hiding. Again, I've already mentioned this, but there's a point in the middle of the film where Chris just fully believes that he's done it.
Exactly.
Because he thinks that, because of his drinking, he literally forgot it.
Yeah.
And he just accepts the fact that he probably did it. And the emotion that he feels in that scene, the emotion that he's like giving in that scene is just one of like utter hopelessness and just like acceptance. And I thought that was really good.
Because when they got Chris, they said he was asleep. He was like knocked out for
he was
5 hours.
drunk.
For like 5 hours, and then he woke up in the chair. So during that 5 hours, he was like, maybe I did do it, and I just simply forgot. Because you really, even when you're like toying with the idea when the movie starts, and you're like, maybe he did do it, and he's just like, I never thought that he was like lying. Maybe he was just like, he genuinely seemed like he didn't remember it. I was like, either this guy's a really good actor, or he just genuinely just black out.
I kind of figured he wasn't. I kind of figured he was never going to be the culprit.
No, yeah, obviously, because he's the protagonist.
But like, still, it's pretty good at making you think he might be.
And then even like, so a big part of the movie, or the resolution that they try and reach, or the resolution that they eventually reach, is that Mercy isn't perfect, and that it makes plenty of mistakes, as we saw during the movie. And the reason Mercy started to believe that itself is because Chris was like, I'm going to go with my gut on this, even though all the evidence is here and we just don't have much for it not to be me. I'm going to go with my gut and say that it's something like this isn't the truth. And Mercy was like, well, I don't have a gut. I don't have emotions. I'm just going to go by math, but I'm going to entertain this idea. And by entertaining the idea, they realized Chris wasn't wrong and that he figured out what actually did it. So Mercy, I'm going to get more on Mercy when we talk about the ending and why it kind of petered out. But Mercy's just like, yo, you were right.
I got to say, Mercy's character is really good as well.
Yeah.
The way that it goes from almost just fully cold, fully emotionless, to almost having, a feeling of doubt about whether it can even, have this 100% accuracy. Mm-hmm. And that's, more towards the middle of the film. But there's something really interesting to me about this, cold, fully logical machine experiencing and seeing, human desperation and emotion in full effect. Like, there's the scene where, Chris is fully proven innocent, and she's like, all right, you could go now. And he stays.
And she's like genuinely like, yo, I don't want to do this because if the timer goes off, then you're going to die. And she seems like she actually like cares. But it's like, I noticed that, like, I got it in my notes, but I noticed like while the movie was like going, the AI would kind of like glitch, and it would be like a quick scene. But the AI would be like, no, like let's figure this out. And then it'll like reset to like back to, no, you did it. But like obviously near the end of the movie, that became like more of a big thing. But it happened like once that they didn't really like notice it. And like, I noticed it. I was like, and I wrote down my notes. I wrote, is the AI kind of on his side? ? I don't know. We've been teasing the ending. Should we?
We have been teasing the ending. We've been I teased it at the beginning. You teased it at the beginning.
Could we
like AI being flawed, and that's kind of where the ending falls short, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Why does the ending of a film fall short?
I think that the ending falls short because I think the film is just too afraid to take a definitive stance, to be just bluntly honest. Because everything about this movie screams anti-AI. You have the entire setup of this movie is that an innocent man is being put in front of an AI judge that is cold and heartless and just wants him dead. And obviously, from the setup, you would expect this movie to be about how AI is flawed and how, maybe we shouldn't, use it as much. But then the ending of the film, there's one line from Chris, like, right as the film is ending, where he just goes, human or AI, we all just make mistakes. We all make mistakes sometimes, you guys.
Yeah,
even though these mistakes killed 17 people, it's okay.
And then
It's
Mercy, she's up on the screen because at this point Chris is out the chair and it looks like an actual movie now. Like they're in the police sync. They just had this giant action sequence. Not giant. It's just like three
Well, it's a
people.
little bit of action.
Yeah, it's
a fair
action.
bit of
It's action, but it's like, and then the AI's up on the screen and she's like, yeah, we all do make mistakes. Screen turns off, movie ends. Like, and it's like the movie had a lot more to say, and it would have benefited from not even just like, yo, we're not gonna, like, they don't have to say, yo, we're not gonna use this AI anymore, like it's stupid. Like we could have just like had like a few extra minutes or like a whole nother, not a whole nother like section, because the movie was resolved by then.
Maybe just like a little bit of an epilogue.
Yeah, just a little bit of an epilogue of just saying either we're gonna reprogram the AI or we're gonna just reduce its role. It just could have benefited from like a lot. It had more to say. The movie this is the imagery, like this is a person running, it just fell on his face, like the movie was running, like it was going, it was like it had a lot of suspense near the end, like it was like it had a lot of energy, like it was literally running through the streets, blowing up cars, like that's how it feels.
Well, that is what he was doing.
That's literally what
the villain was doing.
Like that's
straight
literally
up.
what they're doing, and that's how it feels, and it just crashes into the building. And it stops. and it stops.
What would you say to someone wanting to watch Mercy?
Just enjoy the ride. Don't worry about, how the movie ends. Just try, don't worry about how the movie ends and really form your own opinions. Because, AI is a big topic. And like we said, the movie doesn't take the strongest opinion or take the strongest stance. So really, make sure you have your own resolve about how you feel about this topic, because the movie's not going to give you something. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel. Like, enjoy the ride. It's a good movie. Just have your own opinions.
I think I broadly just have the same things to say. I would say expect a pretty thrilling movie, all things considered, and especially a unique one. I would say the biggest thing I'd tell someone going into this is expect a very unique style of presenting, because I didn't talk about it very much, but the way that this film is shot almost entirely through like internet feeds and security like cameras, it's a very unique way to tell a story. And I think on that alone, it's got its own merits that are worth checking out. All right, well, thanks for watching. This has been Coog Cinema Review with James and Bobby. Till next time, Coog's out. Wait, what was I supposed to? No, I messed up at the very end.
Go Cougs, go Cougs.
Thank you for watching.